Welcome to Intelligent Kids channel.
The dog ran behind the car.
The dog ran behind the car.
The keys are under the table.
The keys are under the table.
The cat sleeps on the bed.
The cat sleeps on the bed.
She cooks with olive oil.
She cooks with olive oil.
She sits next to me.
She sits next to me.
He sleeps after lunch.
He sleeps after lunch.
We walked through the park.
We walked through the park.
He stood in front of the mirror.
He stood in front of the mirror.
The book is between the two lamps.
The book is between the two lamps.
He arrived before noon.
He arrived before noon.
They left without saying goodbye.
They left without saying goodbye.
The kids are playing near the lake.
The kids are playing near the lake.
The gift is for you.
The gift is for you.
We met at the coffee shop.
We met at the coffee shop.
The ball rolled across the floor.
The ball rolled across the floor.
She lives above the grocery store.
She lives above the grocery store.
He went into the room.
He went into the room.
The bus stopped opposite the station.
The bus stopped opposite the station.
The paper is beside the printer.
The paper is beside the printer.
She hid behind the curtain.
She hid behind the curtain.
The picture hangs over the fireplace.
The picture hangs over the fireplace.
They sat around the table.
They sat around the table.
The train passes through the tunnel.
The train passes through the tunnel.
He stood against the wall.
He stood against the wall.
The birds flew over the house.
The birds flew over the house.
She parked her car in front of the building.
She parked her car in front of the building.
He walked toward the park.
He walked toward the park.
They danced under the stars.
They danced under the stars.
The cookies are in the jar.
The cookies are in the jar.
The bike leaned against the tree.
The bike leaned against the tree.
The plane flew above the clouds.
The plane flew above the clouds.
She placed the book under her pillow.
She placed the book under her pillow.
The store is across the street.
The store is across the street.
They climbed onto the roof.
They climbed onto the roof.
The letter is from your friend.
The letter is from your friend.
The bridge is across the river.
The bridge is across the river.
She walked along the beach.
She walked along the beach.
The children ran around the playground.
The children ran around the playground.
He leaned out of the window.
He leaned out of the window.
The ball is inside the box.
The ball is inside the box.
The cafe is opposite the bookstore.
The cafe is opposite the bookstore.
The car stopped near the traffic light.
The car stopped near the traffic light.
She sang during the ceremony.
She sang during the ceremony.
They traveled beyond the mountains.
They traveled beyond the mountains.
The fish swam under the water.
The fish swam under the water.
He sat in the chair.
He sat in the chair.
The clock is above the door.
The clock is above the door.
They waited outside the office.
They waited outside the office.
She arrived after the meeting.
She arrived after the meeting.
He left before the storm.
He left before the storm.
The path goes through the forest.
The path goes through the forest.
She works at the hospital.
She works at the hospital.
The gift is from my sister.
The gift is from my sister.
They moved to a new city.
They moved to a new city.
He stood next to his brother.
He stood next to his brother.
The ball bounced off the wall.
The ball bounced off the wall.
She walked across the street.
She walked across the street.
They were trapped inside the room.
They were trapped inside the room.
He fell into the pool.
He fell into the pool.
The car is parked below the bridge.
The car is parked below the bridge.
The dog ran ahead of us.
The dog ran ahead of us.
She was standing beside her friend.
She was standing beside her friend.
The flowers are in the vase.
The flowers are in the vase.
He drove toward the sunset.
He drove toward the sunset.
The plane landed at the airport.
The plane landed at the airport.
They hiked up the hill.
They hiked up the hill.
The toy is under the bed.
The toy is under the bed.
She looked through the telescope.
She looked through the telescope.
He sat among the guests.
He sat among the guests.
The cat jumped onto the sofa.
The cat jumped onto the sofa.
The ladder is leaning against the wall.
The ladder is leaning against the wall.
She walked along the river bank.
She walked along the river bank.
The box is on top of the shelf.
The box is on top of the shelf.
He went out of the building.
He went out of the building.
The painting is over the couch.
The painting is over the couch.
They traveled by train.
They traveled by train.
She placed the letter inside the envelope.
She placed the letter inside the envelope.
The bus is coming from the station.
The bus is coming from the station.
He climbed over the fence.
He climbed over the fence.
The candle is on the table.
The candle is on the table.
She lives near the school.
She lives near the school.
The car stopped in front of the house.
The car stopped in front of the house.
He sat across from her.
He sat across from her.
The balloon floated above the trees.
The balloon floated above the trees.
They arrived at the same time.
They arrived at the same time.
She looked behind the door.
She looked behind the door.
The students lined up outside the classroom.
The students lined up outside the classroom.
He pointed toward the horizon.
He pointed toward the horizon.
The squirrel ran under the bush.
The squirrel ran under the bushes.
The phone is beside the lamp.
The phone is beside the lamp.
She hid among the crowd.
She hid among the crowd.
The train went through the station.
The train went through the station.
The chairs are around the table.
The chairs are around the table.
The dog lay in front of the fireplace.
The dog lay in front of the fireplace.
The stars shone above the mountains.
The stars shone above the mountains.
The car is parked under the shade.
The car is parked under the shade.
She walked past the bakery.
She walked past the bakery.
The sign is next to the entrance.
The sign is next to the entrance.
They walked across the bridge.
They walked across the bridge.
The vase is on the counter.
The vase is on the counter.
Thanks for watching. For watching more educational videos, subscribe Intelligent Kids channel. Don't forget to like and share the video.